Good evening, and welcome to Creative Broadcasting, the station of unlimited possibilities, presents Creating Your Seat at the Table with your host, Ashley Little, as she welcomes her guest to the table.
Welcome to Creating Your Seat at the Table. I am your host, Ashley Little. A little bit about myself: corporate professional by day, entrepreneur by night, CEO and founder of Ashley Little Enterprises, LLC, two-time best-selling author, owner and creator of Creative Broadcasting, and co-founder and owner of Talk Radio and TV Network, LLP. Tonight we have an amazing special VIP guest by the name of Destiny Inspire. A little bit about her. Destiny Inspire, the empowerment juggernaut, is an expressive empowerment speaker, author, life coach, mentor, and CEO of Destiny Inspire, LLC. Her movement focuses on empowering, impacting, and inspiring others to tap into their purpose in order to live a life they only desire to live but were designed to live. Destiny has spoken on numerous platforms and has actively partnered with colleges, universities, schools, churches, and nonprofit organizations and businesses to bring about effective change by empowering them both to get practical and personal experiences. As a life coach, Destiny continuously helps others discover their purpose, gain clarity, develop strategy, and execute on the goals set for their lives. Her newly released book, Discovering Destiny, is a 31-day guide that takes you on a developmental journey to self-discovery while helping you tap into your God-given purpose. Destiny's ultimate mission is to constantly use her light in her life to ultimately to empower, impact, and inspire her world. Welcome to the table, the amazing Destiny Inspire.
Hi, good to be here, Ashley.
It is awesome to interview you. I'm so happy that you came to the table tonight. I'm humbled to be able to interview you, and you have such an amazing bio. So would you please tell our listeners more about your entrepreneur journey?
Well, I started actually not too long ago, and the whole journey came out of a need. It came out of a passion. I always feel like your area of purpose usually comes from your greatest area of pain. For me, I dealt with a lot of things as far as not knowing my identity, not really knowing who I was, not knowing what my purpose in life was, dealing with emotional toil, just mental stress. And so once I got to a point where I started getting coaching and getting help and really started healing from things that I went through and experienced, I made a vow to myself and a promise to God that I would then become to other women and other people what I needed for myself. So that led for me to step out into entrepreneurship and really look into, getting certified and getting myself together to become a coach to other women, specifically to help coach them through similar things that I've been through, and also to speak and empower, whether it's youth, whether it's women, even men. But my target audience is really motivating and really empowering the women to change their life by changing their mindset in order to walk into their God-given purpose. So that's a little bit about the background of how I got into what I do now.
I love that, and that mindset is so important, right? Because that controls everything else.
Important. Absolutely.
Yes, and I love what you said, how you found when you started your entrepreneur journey, you found it based off of your pain, basically, and your purpose is found it through your pain. So I love that. I love that because that's so important, that we find our purpose, because when we find our purpose, everything else will fall into place.
Absolutely, Ashley, you got it right.
So, Destiny, your movement focuses on empowering, impacting, and inspiring others to tap into their purpose in order to live a life they not only desire to live, but were designed to live. So would you please share with the listening audience more about your movement, a little bit more in depth about it, and how they can, get involved with your movement?
Right. So right now I've actually just launched a online group coaching community. It's an empowerment and coaching community for women. It's called the Queen Council. So part of this movement, I do a lot of one-on-one coaching with individuals, but I know a lot of women, they deal with the same things. We all have the same issues no matter where we are in our life, no matter where we are in our professional lives, personal lives, spiritual lives. we all struggle ultimately with some of the same things. So a part of my movement right now, I've created a safe place and a safe space for women where we come together. I always say everything you need is in the council because we have people from all walks of life, women who deal with some of the same things. And what I do is I bring in the resources, I bring in the tools, the knowledge, and the support, as well as the accountability that you need to tackle these things, to tackle these life issues, to tackle these emotional, physical things that we may struggle with, and even spiritually, our spiritual lives. So right now that movement is really growing. I've had several women contact me about it because it's all about helping to connect you to what you need. So even if you are an entrepreneur or you're an aspiring entrepreneur, you don't know where to start, or you're in business and you feel kind of stuck, what I do is I go and get the resources that you need and I bring them into you. We do weekly conference video calls. We do weekly prayers. I bring in guest experts and coaches in different fields that can come in and help the ladies with whatever it is they may be struggling with. So that's one of my movements. Apart from that, my speaking, I go to different women empowerment events, brunches. I do schools, nonprofits, and I really come in and not only just motivate you to make you feel good, but empower you enough to impact your life to want to bring about a change. It's not enough just to be motivated for a little bit, to feel good in the moment, and then after that you have no real results because you're on this emotional high until after you've come down from that high, you still have to deal with life. You still have to deal with the problems. You still have to deal with relationships. So ultimately, when I come in to speak or do any type of seminar, any type of workshop, I give you principles that you can live by, that you can carry out, and then implement into your life. So it's all about bringing about a change. So once I empower, impact, and inspire, I'm inspiring and empowering you to change your life, to have a better life. And I always say a life that not only you desire to live, but a life that you were designed to live. We ultimately have a purpose in this life. We all have an audience. We all have a select group of people that we are assigned to. Just like in a business, you have a target market, people that are specifically targeted to your brand, to your business, to your company. And so our lives are the same way. Our lives, we have a target market of people who are predestined to our life. And when we don't walk in our purpose and find what that is, we do ourselves a disservice, and also everyone attached to us a disservice, because we're not walking out the plan that God ultimately has for us.
Right, I love that. And we have to, embrace that like you stated, that people are assigned to our lives, right? So we have to be careful how we treat people and make sure that we're in tune with the discernment to know who he's sending to help us and not run the people away that are sent to help you, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what my movement is all about. Once you know who you are and you walk in your power, you then can impact your world the right way. So that's all. It's never just for us. It's all about how is my life going to make a difference in this world. I always say if your life is not making a difference, then what is it doing? Like what really are you doing every day with your life?
Right. I love it. I love it. And you are a life coach as well, Destiny, and you help, like you stated, helping others, find that clarity and develop those strategies. So would you go a little bit more about your life coach business as well?
Yeah, so part of my life coaching, I really assess each of my queens, or I do a few kings, but again, I target the women. I really assess where it is that they are in life and what is they're trying to accomplish. A lot of times people may confuse the two with life coaching and maybe therapy. A lot of women that I deal with, they have gone through therapy, and they've done therapy, and then they also come to coaching. Life coaching, really it deals with where you are now and how can we take where we are now and move forward with it. What can we do to set up a sizable plan of action to accomplish a specific goal or accomplish a specific mindset or something in your life. Whereas with therapy, it's more so retroactive. You're digging into your past. You're digging up those repressed memories. You're digging up those things, and sometimes you tend to linger there. With coaching, we hit on the past, but we don't stay there. We address where we are now, and now moving forward, how can we gain clarity? How can I take what I know now and move forward to accomplish a specific goal or accomplish something specific with my life? So with my coaching, each of my ladies, I set up personalized plans for them. So there's no cookie cutter 5-step, hey, just do this, this, and this. But no, I really make it individual to that specific person and what their needs are. And I give them homework. We do assessments. We measure their growth and progress from beginning to end to really see results. I'm all about results. I'm not about, when you do something just to feel good or for a moment or temporary satisfaction, but how can I take what I'm doing now? How can I take this knowledge, this information, and how can I implement it to execute in my life in all areas? So with my coaching program, that's really what I do. I have either a 6-week coaching program, 4-week, or 8-week, depending on how long my clients want to go forth. And we really set up goals and how can we execute on that goal to become a better person holistically, mind, body, and spirit. So that's a little bit about the Destiny Inspire LLC life coaching side.
Amazing. So how can listeners purchase and support if they're looking for you to be their life coach? How can they do it?
Well, they can follow me online. I have a website, destinyinspire.com. They can go right to my website, set up a consultation. I do a discovery clarity call if you just want to kind of we kind of see if we're a good fit for each other. And if we're not, I have people I can recommend for them, or we kind of get to the bottom of, okay, is this something that I'm serious about? Is this something that we can do together? And so from there, we move forward with finding a plan that works for you and moving forward, how we can knock out those goals. But they can go to my website, which is www.destinyinspire.com, and go to coaching and set up a consultation with me, and then we get right into it. I'm also on all platforms of social media at Destiny Inspire. That's on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the whole 9, YouTube.
Awesome. Well, please follow and support her. Destiny is pretty amazing, and she's definitely consistent, and she's not just talking. She's practicing what she preaches. So definitely go out and support and follow her. So what are some strategies? You're welcome. What are some strategies you would give to listeners who are struggling to find their purpose? Because sometimes I think people, they confuse on that, right? So what is some things that you would give to listeners who is trying to find that purpose?
So first, before you can find your purpose, I always say you have to know who you are. So when you don't know who you are, and you don't know where you're going, any path will lead you there. So the first thing to do before trying to jump into finding a purpose, you have to find out who you are. And to find out who you are, you really have to do a self-evaluation. You have to be self-aware. You have to, sometimes I even make it plain as getting out that piece of paper, and I need you to list everything that you think you are. List everything. List it all out. And a lot of times what we will do is we will list our titles, we'll list our roles, I am this, I am that, but we never get down to the root of it. And then I say, if you had to go through that list and strip away anything that you have, if this was stripped away from you, if being a wife was stripped away from you, if being a mother was stripped away from you, who then would you be? And so really that's a deep question that only you can answer yourself. Like, how would you describe yourself? What are things that you are passionate about? What are things that you enjoy doing? What are things that are pain points for you? Like I say, for me, my passion came from my pain. And so once I had that pain, I realized I want to do something about this. And so it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. It is truly a journey. But when you do the inward work, when you really do the self-reflection, then that's going to help lead you to your purpose. So first, identify who you are. Identify who you are, and then identify what do you want out of life. So ultimately, what is my ultimate goal in this life? Like, what is it that I want? What is it that I'm going after? What is it that I'm capable of? And then think about, what do people come to me for? What are people always asking me to do? What are they always asking me about? Because a lot of times people will see what's in you before you see it in yourself, and we'll be dismissive of those things. We'll think, oh, that's just, that's just what I do, or that's just, that comes easy. What comes natural to you? What are your natural abilities? What are you good at? What are people asking you for? Like, what are these things? And pen and paper is your best friend. You have to write it out to make it real. Always you have to get that vision from your head to your hands. And the easiest way to do that is to write it out, list those things, look at it. Something about visually seeing something that stimulates something in your brain to do a plan of action. So write that out. And when you take the time and write these things out and look at them and review them, you're going to start seeing a pattern form. You're going to start saying, you know what, this actually kind of connects to this, or this kind of goes with this. And when you look at that and you really embody it, you'll start going into the direction of your purpose. And sometimes it won't take you there instantly. You may do something that you think is your purpose, and you may feel like, you know what, this is my purpose, but really it is a catalyst that sparks that in you that will lead you to your purpose later. So for me, I was, in ministry in church, and I was, kind of helping people. I was a servant, I was a servant leader. But ultimately that led me into being a speaker, into a coach. But had I not realized it, I would have stayed there and felt like, well, this is all I'm supposed to do. But I realized I had to think outside of myself and say, okay, this is comfortable, but what is this really leading me to? Ultimately, what is this going to do to impact others? How can I take this and build upon it? So those are my best principles, I would say, in finding your purpose. And then once you have gotten closer to it, you have to be confident in it. A lot of times we will allow fear to cripple us, and we'll feel like I'm not good enough, or who's going to listen to me, or you know what, this isn't a real thing, or nobody is doing this right now, or this really doesn't make sense. You can't second guess yourself. You can't doubt yourself. Even if what you do initially isn't your purpose, it's going to lead you to it. So you have to do it with confidence and allow it to work on you, because it's going to work something in you. It's going to spark a fire. It's going to ignite a passion, and then that's going to fuel you and lead you to something else. A lot of times when something doesn't work out, we call it a failure. We say, oh, I failed at that, so that must not be what I'm meant to do. Or that didn't work out, I failed. That was a failure. But really there is no such thing as failure. There is no failure. Everything that you experience, if you look at it the right way and you reverse engineer it, really that failure is just your feedback. It's a feedback on how can I do something better? How can I improve on this? Or how can this lead me to something else? What is it that I can get out of this situation? For instance, I went through a marriage, and I'm now divorced. So on the outside looking in, the world would say, oh, you had a failed marriage. But in my eyes, it wasn't a failed marriage at all, because what it was feedback for me as a woman. It made me a better woman. It developed better character. It gave me more boldness. It gave me more confidence. It allowed me to tap into who I really was. It allowed me to know what are my non-negotiables, what am I not going to accept moving forward. So everything that people would deem a failure only became my feedback to push me further into my life. So those are just a few of my principles that I would give someone when they're trying to tap into their purpose or discover what their purpose is.
And I love all of those, because you're so correct. And like you said, failure, it's just a lesson. It motivates you to keep going, right? And it's just to get up and do it differently the next time, right?
Absolutely. Right.
I love that, and the principles that you went about, just knowing who you are, you know, what do people come to you for, your natural abilities. Those things are so important, and walking in confidence, right?
They are. We dismiss them.
So important. Yes. And you talked about fear, overcoming that mindset. Because people let fear cripple them, right? Let it paralyze them. So can you speak more about that a little bit?
Yes. So fear, what our brain does is it's natural. It does these things to keep us safe. So whenever it feels like we're in danger, or, you know, we feel like something can be potentially harmful for us, that fear instantly ignites in us, and it cripples us from doing something in an attempt to keep us safe. But really, when it comes to walking in your purpose and walking in what you're supposed to do and taking that risk, you have to knock that out of your mind and realize there's no such thing as playing it safe. You have to be willing to jump and just know that when you jump, that net is going to be there to catch you whether you see it or not. And so what fear will cause us to do, fear will cause us to, what we say, fail before we even begin. So we don't even believe in failure, but when you don't step out of your comfort and walk into that unsafe place that you think is unsafe, you will never get any further. In life, we can be complacent and we can be content. I always say it's good to be content. The Bible says I learned to be content in whatever state I'm in. I know how to be abased. I know how to abound. I know how to be hungry. I know how to suffer need. In all things, I know how to be content. But we get contentment confused with complacency. Complacency is when you're at a place of stagnation and you're not moving forward. And just like water, when water becomes stagnant, it begins to stink. So then you're uncomfortable. You wonder why is this not working out? Like, what is going on? Because you've now become stagnant and you can't move forward in life. Anything that's not growing is dying. And so your things in you are dying, your ambitions are dying, your goals are dying, your dreams are dying, because you've reached a place of complacency to where you can't even move forward. And all that comes from fear. Fear will tell you you're doing too much. Fear will tell you you're not good enough. Fear will tell you nobody will listen. Fear will tell you it's not worth it. Fear will tell you it's too big of a risk. But when you step outside of that fear and you walk into a whole realm of faith, nothing is impossible. But you will never know until you try. You'll never know until you step out. I always say if I had never stepped out of the boat, I would have never known I could walk on water. And so until you actually take that chance, you don't know. You really don't know. It's all an assumption. And it would be a sad narrative to live 75 years doing the same thing over and over and calling that a life, and never stepping out of saying, what if? What if I had? What if I would have? What if? Like, you don't want to live your life like that. So you have to step out of that fear and step into that faith. Because what is the worst that can happen? If it doesn't work out, guess what? You can always go back to the way things were. If it doesn't do the way you thought it should, you can the basic life is still there. Like the basic things you're doing, they're still there. You can always go back to them. So why not take that chance on yourself? I used to tell myself, Destiny, you deserve to see what it looks like to give yourself everything. You give yourself to your job. You give yourself to other people. You give yourself to what other people want you to do. So what if you took a chance on yourself and you took that same energy and you did it for yourself? Like, we deserve to see the best version of ourselves. Like, we deserve that. And we'll never get to that unless we step outside of that fear and know, and it's a chapter in my book called More Than Mediocre. You have to know that you're more than mediocre. You don't have to just live a mundane life. You can take a chance. If you have an idea, if you have a passion, a concept, take a chance on it because you don't know where it can lead you. But you will never know unless you get past that fear and convince yourself that fear is not real. It's something that we make up, that our mind does to try to keep us safe.
Yes, I love that.
Take on it.
Yes, false evidence appearing real, absolutely. And we got to be okay. We got to be okay with rejection. Like you stated, you got to step out there and do it anyway, right? Do it.
Do it anyway.
Regardless.
Do it afraid. Do it scared. Just do it.
Yes, and always bet on yourself.
Bet on yourself.
One thing I tell anybody, I'm always bet on me.
Always bet on me. Whoever counted you out can't count. So
Right.
Bet on yourself every time.
So I know we were just talking about, overcoming fear and stepping out and doing it. So what are some reasons that you would share with the listening audience that people don't execute on their goals? Because at the end of the day, we all got goals, but some people just don't execute on it. Executing is the most important part of it, right? So can you speak more on that?
Yes, for one, we don't execute because we're too busy making excuses. We make excuses why we cannot do it. And so excuses is the number one killer of dreams, the number one killer of ambition, the number one killer of goals is excuses. In life, relationships fail because of excuses. In life, you don't get where you want to go because of excuses. So you have to eliminate the mentality of excuses. Sometimes we use other people as an excuse. I can't do this because of this. I was speaking to the Queen Council last week, and I told them, I gave them a story about Missy Elliott, and she just, recently was awarded the honorary doctorate degree by Berkeley. And so I said, when you dig back into her past, she went through some really horrible things. She was raped by a cousin at 7 or 8. She witnessed her father abuse her mother up to 14 years old. Like, she experienced severe health issues. And I said, what if she said, I cannot fulfill this dream of doing music because ... And so I asked him, I said, what is your ... What excuse are you using why you can't go after your dreams? I can't accomplish this because my father ... I can't do this because a lover ... We make excuses why we can't step out. And those excuses are what hinder us from moving forward. So when we eliminate that mentality and that mindset, then that's going to push us further to where we want to go. Take out the excuses why I can't and think about every reason why you should do it. So that is one of the biggest things that I can say is those excuses.
Love that. Because execution is so important. You're right. And then we have to we got to put ourselves in the right environment for the right tables and understand that every table is not for us and ignore the distractions and just go ahead and do it, right? Yeah, because I think when you keep putting those excuses, it's because you have those dream killers too at the same time. So you have to learn how to move in silence too.
Absolutely, your environment plays a big part. I always say your environment, your exposure, and your experiences. So the 3 E's, you have to change your environment sometimes because it's just like soil. Every soil isn't the right soil that's conducive for growth. So sometimes you have to uproot yourself and put those roots somewhere that's going to be cultivated, that's going to be watered. So that's your environment. Who are you around? How are they talking? Are they defeated? Are they going after their dreams? Are they supporting what you're trying to do? And if that's not the case, it's going to cause death to your life, death to your mind, death to your goals. So you have to change your environment, your experiences. You have to create new experiences. We hold on to past memories. We hold on to past hurts, past pains, and we keep those experiences in our mind, and they stagnate us. So you have to create new experiences, make new memories, get out there, put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to just create something new. And then exposure. what am I exposing myself to? A lot of times we don't want to step outside of the box. In my life, I was stuck in this kind of narrow-minded, fixated place of living where I felt like only this was right, only this, you can't do that, don't do this, don't mingle with them, don't connect with them, and connections are important. But I had to change my level of exposure. I had to change, what am I exposing myself to? I had to get around new information. I had to get around people who were where I was trying to go. So I had to intentionally make the decision to expose myself to that. If I wanted greater, what does greater look like? I want to be an entrepreneur. What does entrepreneurship look like? I want to be a better spouse. What does that look like? So you have to change your level of exposure. So experiences, exposures, and your environment shape who you are. It shapes where you're going in your life. So you have to position yourself in a way with intentionality, because none of this is going to happen by accident. You're not just going to, by happenstance, stumble into something. Like, you have to be on your grind. You have to be intentional, and you have to go for it with everything that you have in you if you expect to get any real results from it.
I love that. Environment, exposure, and experience are so important.
That's it, the 3 E's.
Love it. Congratulations on your newly released book, Discovering Destiny. So please tell us more about you are welcome. So please tell us more about your amazing book and how we can support and purchase it.
All right, so my book is called Discovering Destiny, subtitle A 31-Day Guide to Finding Yourself and Fulfilling Your Purpose. My writing endeavors really started off as a blog. I had a blog called Discovering Destiny Online, and I would just take certain experiences that I went through, or just past, present, or even things in the future that I wanted, and I would take that story and I would really wrap around principles around it of what I got out of it. And eventually I was like, you know what? This is good stuff. Like, I want to continue to share the things that I've been through with others. And so going through, depression, going through not knowing my identity, going through a horrible divorce, I would write. And so I would just kind of write down how I was feeling. I would write down, what did I get out of this lesson? I would write down, what is it I can take away from this? And I realized I had something that I could then share with the world. I said I had to keep the vow that I made that I would become to others what I needed for myself. And at the time, I needed something that could give me principles, something that could give me a step-by-step guide, something that wasn't too much, wasn't too much information, but just enough that I could, take in day by day. And so my book I created as such. I wanted it to be something sizable, something that you could take in little by little, so I broke it down into 31 days. And each day is a different principle, a different concept that you can live by. And at the end of it, I give self-reflecting questions where you can really take what you just read and realize, how can I embody this and now execute on it? So I really make it to where it's something that you can go by day by day. It's available on Amazon. It's also available on my website, Destiny Inspire. And it's a really good book for men and women. It's gender neutral because it's things that we all deal with, that we all encounter, to all make us better people in finding and carrying out our purpose in this life.
I love that. So please go support Destiny and purchase her book. I'm telling you, purchase her book, follow her, get it off Amazon, go to her website, and purchase her book today. So Destiny, I ask all of my guests this question. How did you create your seat at the table?
I created my seat at the table by first knowing that no other table existed. So a lot of times we kind of look at other people's table and we try to mimic it, or we, after we're trying to beg to be at it, we're like, well, let me try to mimic this. I just blocked out anything else that was around me, and I had a vision. I had a tunnel vision where I wanted to go, and where I wanted to go was somewhere that would impact my world. Again, we all have our target market and our target world. So to create my seat at the table, I first realized that I was designed to do something that no one else can do. I don't care how many speakers there are in the world. I don't care how many life coaches there are in the world. No one can do what I can do because God put it in me. That's why we all only have one fingerprint. So no matter how many fingers there are, only one print is going to match that person. And so once I realized my fingerprint, I began to continue to walk out and walk in the direction of that goal and that dream to create my own seat. And so it was no more, even when I wanted to come up and to speak, and there was no asking to be on someone else's platform. Or I started a platform. Social media is for everybody. I created a platform on social media, and that's where my brand really started at, pouring out to the audience that I did have, and from there allowing it to grow and paving my own way in this world, paving my own way in this whole empowerment movement that's going on right now. So it's really finding your niche, finding what it is that you're good at, finding what it is that you can offer that no one else can offer it quite like you, and it's maxing it out to the fullest potential. So me maxing out whatever gift that I have, maxing out the way in which I do it. I don't always do it the right way, as some people would say, or the steps that you should take. I just knock all that out, and I'm a woman of faith, so I let the Holy Spirit lead me and guide me into the all truth, into the direction that he has me to go. And you can't lose. When you're walking in your purpose, you're creating your own seat, and you don't have to worry about nobody pulling the chair from up under you.
I love it. And some key things that you said was you started your own platform, because I'm a big believer in creating your own opportunities, right? Don't wait for anybody to give you a seat. Create your own seat. Create your own table, right? I love that. So failure taught you to keep going, right? That's what we talked about earlier. So what did success teach you?
Success taught me that, for one, there are things that you will learn in the valley that you'll never learn on the mountaintop. So even in my success, I know that I wouldn't have gotten there without being in the valley. And once I reach a level, what we call success, quote unquote, that it's not enough for me to have it unless I'm reaching to pull someone else up with me. A lot of times we get stuck on our own selves and what I've accomplished, what I've done. But every year, like last year was an amazing year for me. It was my first year, and I surprised myself with what I was capable of doing. But I can't revel in last year's success, because this is a whole new year, a whole new platform, a whole new world of people that I'm supposed to reach. So I take that success and I allow it to push me to outdo myself, outdo my last version of success. And also success taught me that it's not just about money, it's not about status, but it's about, are you winning from the inside out? Are you succeeding from the inside out? A lot of times we are outward success, but we're inward failures. So success taught me that it's important to do the inner work to make sure I'm succeeding in every area of my life, not just on the areas that people can see on social media or they can see on television, but what they can't see, which is the inner woman, because the outward should only be a reflection of what's on the inside. So that's what success has taught me.
Now, and you stated that, it taught you to reach back and pull forward, because I truly believe that a successful leader is a person that reaches back and pulls forward. That's a true leader, a true successful person.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I feel like you're a true leader. A true leader is able to recreate leaders. And so if you're not able to recreate what you are, then are you really a leader at all? You shouldn't just, and everyone's not going to be a leader, but if you can't reproduce what you are, that therein lies your legacy. Because what are you creating? Once you are gone as a leader, who can then stand up and take your mantle and take it to another level? So if you have not created something that can be duplicated and then taken to the next level, then you have to question your impact and your effect as being a leader.
Right, and that's why it's so important to chase the impact, right? It's so important to chase the impact. And I love what you said about the inward, because the inward is so important. That's why I say to myself every day, search my heart, because that's so important.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So what can we expect from you, Destiny? You have already, knocked quarter one out. You're in quarter two now. You're doing some amazing things. I consistently follow you, so I see that you're doing a lot of great things, have a lot of things you're continuing to produce and create. So what can we expect from you the rest of 2019?
Wow, like I can't even fathom what all will be in store for me, but I will speak it into existence. You can expect me on your local television. You can expect me on your radio station. I plan to launch the podcast. There will be a new book at some point this year. There will be new platforms, but really just looking out. Cut your TV on, keep your radio on, keep your phone on iTunes, keep your podcast going, because I plan on maxing out every outlet where you can receive anything into your eyes, ears, and your understanding. I'm going to be there.
I love it. So look out. She has some amazing things planned, and I'm looking forward to seeing all the great things that God is going to do in your life this year, Destiny. Can't wait to see what He's about to continue to produce and create. Yes.
I'm humble because it's all of Him.
It is. It's all of Him, right? Got to make sure we give Him the credit first, because he does it all. So would you please tell the listeners how they can follow and contact you once again?
Absolutely. So I'm on all major platforms of social media at Destiny Inspire, DESTINYINSPIRE, Destiny Inspire on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, and on YouTube. And also online is my website, destinyinspire.com. You can go there to sign up for coaching. You can also go there to purchase the book. You can also go there to book me for any speaking engagements or workshops that you may have. I'm there. So really just reach out. I love connecting. I love building, and I love growing. I love helping people take their lives to the next level. So I'm here They can also join the council if they want to do some group coaching. I have group coaching, the Queen Council, also one-on-one coaching. So I'm here. Let's get it.
Yes. So please follow and support her and join the Queen Council. Definitely join the Queen Council. And Destiny, I would like to thank you for this amazing interview and for you taking the time out of your you are welcome for your very, very busy schedule to come to the table today. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
It's an honor. It is my pleasure.
Yes, and I look forward to continuing to connect and collaborate with you in the future.
Yes, ma'am. Likewise. Keep doing what you're doing as well with creating your seat at the table and giving a platform for other people to express how they do the same. I love it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you again for coming to the table today. So I would like to give a special thanks to Tammy Collins Marquis and John Schamberger. I would also like to give a special thanks to author Kimberly McLemore. And you all may follow me on Facebook at Ashley Little and on Instagram at _Ashley A. Little. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Creating Your Seat at the Table, where Ashley speaks with corporate professionals, celebrities, entrepreneurs, authors, and speakers who are transitioning or have transitioned to entrepreneurship.